cross-examination.
Very much, Your Honor. Good morning, Jessica.
Morning.
I believe when we broke on Friday, we talked a little bit about the relationship between your father and your mother, and you described it, I think, as good as you had ever been hopeful, something like that.
Yes, correct.
Was that the case even when you were getting those text messages from Bella and your mom and yourself when she would go out after your father had died?
Yes.
And you explained, I think, what your feeling was about that?
Yes.
You cleared that up with Bella?
Yes.
And you were on good terms with your mother?
Yes.
Did there an issue come up, Jessica, involving the cars in terms of how Monica and the family would deal with the car situation once Fabio was dead?
Yes.
Now, the car that she had been driving was the Ford 150 black truck, is that correct?
Correct.
And did she try to continue on with that lease?
Yes.
Was she unable to do so because it was not in her name but in Fabio's name?
Correct.
And then, correct me if I'm wrong, she would have had to buy the truck back at a very high price, is that correct?
Objection, speculation.
How low?
To my knowledge, yes.
So do you recall what she had decided to do regarding the truck?
No, she just came home with the Mustang.
And told you what about it?
That is-
Objection, hearsay.
Same.
Well, they've got into all of Ms. Sementilli's comments about the truck to others.
Same as under 356? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
No.
Okay, so as a result, and you're right, we've had a lot of testimony from car dealers and so forth. Ended up, she wasn't able to keep the truck, correct?
Correct.
And in place of that, she bought the Mustang, correct?
Correct.
Now, who was driving the family cars at that time? What were you driving?
I was driving the red Mustang, my mother the F-150, then the other Mustang. Isabella was driving the Fiat.
Okay. And what about the Porsche? Did anyone want to keep the Porsche after it had been the scene of the murder?
No, because it was sticks, so none of us could drive it.
So was that sold back to the dealership? Or
I-
turned in?
I'm not sure what happened.
But it was turned in?
Correct.
Okay. And you don't know when it was turned in, whether there was a lease payment or any other payment due because it was turned in?
Correct.
Now, the Mustang you were driving, just so it's clear, what year-old Mustang was that?
2007.
So by this time, it was 10 years old, is that correct?
Correct.
So you got the worst part of the fleet, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Did something happen after that to the Fiat that Bella was driving?
Yes, there was an accident.
With Bella?
Correct.
She was okay?
No, the airbag hurt her arm. She was in a sling for a little bit.
Approximately how long did that occur after your father's death?
Not very long after, a few months.
And what happened to the vehicle, the Fiat?
It was totaled, and insurance, I believe, paid for, or helped pay for another one.
Okay. So now she was driving a newer Fiat, is that correct?
Same model.
Same model. Okay. And that was the result of the insurance company having covered the vehicle. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And again, during this time period, before the arrest of your mother, the family, that is Fabio's family, was being very helpful and consoling you and your sister and your mom throughout this. Is that correct?
Before the arrest, yes.
And did Morella ever come out and speak over after your father was killed?
Yeah, we had the whole family came, and everyone was staying with us.
How long were they staying with you?
I'm not sure. I know Morella did come a separate time, just her.
And again, to help and be of whatever assistance they could be to deal with this.
Correct.
At some time when they were there, and the rest of the family at times was there as well, Luigi and others, correct?
Correct.
There were other cousins you had, children, prior children of Fabio. Can you describe who was there for the family?
Luigi, my cousins Vanessa, Daniel, Anthony, Morella,
Who are those three? Angel, you said?
and Anthony, Daniel. They're the children of Loredana, and Vanessa is the child of Morella.
Okay, so these were Fabio's first marriage and other relatives?
The ones I just mentioned are Fabio's nieces and nephews. Luigi's the only child of Fabio's prior marriage.
Very well. And at some time, did you see your mother up in the closet or the bedroom area where Fabio slept and she and Fabio lived, and let those cousins and so forth have a choice if they wanted to keep any of Fabio's clothes as a memento to them or as a reminder of him? Can you tell us how that worked?
Yes, we were all standing in the hallway of the bedrooms, and everyone was going through my dad's drawers and taking things like sweaters and shirts to give away to them because for memories.
There were no tools up there, were there?
No, the tools were in the garage.
And what about, were you aware that your father owned a Rolex watch
Yes,
that was not taken in the robbery and murder?
correct.
And who got that?
Luigi.
Did he request that?
I'm not sure.
But was it given to him?
Yes,
And did he, for any reason, not want to have it?
not to my knowledge.
He was happy that he was getting it as a memento from his father. Isn't that a fair statement?
Yes, I believe so.
Let's turn now, if we could, Jessica, to the issue of the burial of your father. Came up in some of the testimony we've had previous. Was there a decision that had to be made as to whether your father would be cremated or not?
Yes,
Objection. We discussed this.
Let me see the count so far. Go ahead.
Thank you, Anna. Jessica, was there a time when a decision had to be made on whether Fabio was going to be cremated or not?
yes,
Do you recall how that decision was made?
yes.
Can you tell us?
Yes, it was a conversation between myself, my mother, my sister, and my brother.
Luigi?
Luigi, correct.
And was that because the issue had arisen? How did it come that you were the ones who were making that decision?
I don't believe there was an issue that arose. It was just, talking to each other and seeing what we agreed on, if we wanted him buried or cremated, and we decided on cremation.
And was there a specific reason you recall?
Yes, because my dad always would mention, when I'm gone one day, I don't want to rot in the ground. When I'm gone one day, I don't want to be buried with my hands across my chest. And he would say these in passing.
So was your belief, speaking of yourself, that he preferred to be cremated rather than buried without being cremated?
Objection, evidence.
Yes,
And was that agreed upon by the four of you?
yes,
And in fact, was Fabio cremated?
yes.
And his remains were, however, taken back to Canada, is that correct?
Yes, he remains in Canada.
And where are his remains now? Do you know?
In a cemetery in Vaughan, Ontario. I'm not sure what it's called.
Okay. But it's in a place where you can go and visit and honor him, is that correct?
Correct.
been some conversation about the song My Way. Did you know whether or not your father liked that song or not?
Yes, it's one of his favorite songs.
How did you know that?
Because he had albums of Dean Martin, Frank Sinatra, and Elvis Presley, and every time we did karaoke in the backyard, my dad sang My Way.
As a result of that, do you recall your mother ever singing that song or portions of it at one of the events that took place following Fabio's death?
Yes.
Do you recall which occasions that was?
Yes, it was a Lifetime Achievement celebration
Where was that?
in Toronto, I believe.
Were you there?
No.
How did you become aware of that performance?
My family sent me videos of it.
And at that performance, did your mother sing My Way?
Yes.
And was Morella there?
Yes.
And how was she reacting, if you saw in the video, to the singing of My Way?
She's smiling and crying in happiness, happy tears.
And clapping?
Objection, speculation.
Happy tears will be stricken.
She was seen clapping and smiling.
Yes.
Everyone up on the stage was clapping and smiling.
Yes.
Did you ever hear any criticism by anyone of Fabio's family or anyone else to your mom singing My Way at that time?
No.
Did she sing it on one other occasion here or locally in California?
Not to my knowledge that I can remember right now.
Your mom had a sweatshirt that belonged to Fabio, is that correct?
Correct.
For how long did she wear that sweatshirt after he died?
Months. She carried that around with her everywhere.
Is it fair to say then that up to a certain point, the family, your family, Fabio's family, were all grieving together over the loss of your father?
Yes.
Was there some time when that changed?
Yes.
What happened?
The day my mother was arrested, in the leading days after that, there was lots of fights and arguments.
You know what they're about?
Well, one of them was about my father's property at his office and them wanting it, but it wasn't my decision to make, and it became a huge fight.
Who wanted it?
Morella.
Go on.
It became a huge fight, and tensions arose between all of us, and I understood their anger, not their actions, and that's why we stopped talking.
Anything else?
Yes.
What?
Morella called me a bitch and a cunt.
What did you say to her? She asked you any questions about your father and his death?
Sorry?
Did she ask you any questions how you felt about your father's death?
Yes, it seemed as she insinuated I was not as hurt as she was about my father's death.
Did she ask you how you felt about your mother being arrested?
No, never.
Did you tell her whether or not you believe your mother was innocent or not?
Yes,
What did you tell her?
that I believe she's innocent.
And how did that react to the family?
I don't know how they all reacted, but Morella was irate with anger.
Because you felt you stood by your mother.
Yes,
How did that play out?
just lots of fighting, and we just stopped speaking to each other.
Is that still to this day?
Yes,
So that's lasted how long?
8 years.
Have you reached out in any way to try to heal some of those wounds?
To my brother.
And to any effect?
Yes.
So you and your brother now are on speaking terms?
Yes.
But what about Norella and the rest of your family?
Objection, relevance.
No.
Can I have 1 minute, John? I know this has been difficult for you. Thank you, Jessica.
Thank you.
You're direct?
Yes.
So, Jessica, as the defense has been asking you questions, you've been talking to them now for 7-8 years, right?
Correct.
Did you talk to them after you testified?
Yesterday?
When you testified on Friday?
Oh, sorry. No.
After court, on the weekend, you never had any conversation with them?
After court, we talked about my phone number being leaked, but that was it.
Okay. So some of these things that you're bringing up, though, you've never told the police any of this. And first about, in fact, you've never stated that anywhere about the cremation that you just testified to, right?
Correct.
So you knew that that was part of some testimony that came out during this trial that your dad had not indicated he wanted to be cremated.
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
So did you know that your dad, through the trial, it came out in testimony that your dad had indicated he did not want to be cremated?
No, I did not know that.
All right, so that topic then, when was the first time you told anyone this story about your dad and sitting with family members wanting to be cremated?
Years ago, when we retained Leonard, when they were first asking us questions.
So you reviewed the reports that they gave you, but it's nowhere in there?
No, I don't know.
Would you like to see their reports?
Sure.
And do you know which time that was? Because you interviewed with them on August 29th, 2017. You interviewed with them October 15th, 2021, and you interviewed with them January 6th, 2022. Do you know which one?
No.
Okay. I'll let you take a look at those then. That refresh your recollection?
Yes.
So it's nowhere in these reports?
Correct.
Okay. But you have a memory of some time telling the defense that?
Yes.
But you don't know when?
I don't know when.
Same topic of your dad loving this song, I Did It My Way. When did that come up?
Over the years of us talking,
You talking with who?
with the defense.
Okay, and that's nowhere in any of these reports either.
No.
Okay, but your testimony today is that was one of your dad's favorite songs?
Yes.
And you sat with your family members, Luigi there as well. Luigi was part of that conversation?
To my knowledge, yes. That I remember.
When did that happen?
When Dad first was killed.
Okay, so with Luigi, you talked about the fact that he wanted to be cremated, and Luigi was there.
Yes, to my knowledge.
And then Luigi was also familiar with that I Did It My Way was one of your dad's favorite songs.
I don't know if he was familiar with it or not.
But again, that was the conversations with the defense at some time not documented anywhere.
Yes.
Then at the Lifetime Achievement Award, you didn't go to that one. That's the one that was in Toronto, correct?
Correct.
But you watched a video of it.
Correct.
And your interpretation of that video is that everyone was clapping and smiling and happy when your mom sang, I Did It My Way.
Yes, and you could see that.
You could see that, because at that point your mom hadn't been charged yet with the murder of your dad.
Correct.
So people were happy hearing that song that she sang, I Did It My Way. Did you ever hear or see your mom sing that song after she was charged with murder?
No, maybe.
Maybe?
This is a really weird question, I think.
Well, did you visit your mom over the years, like routinely in custody?
Yes.
You went and visited her?
Yes.
Okay, did that ever come up again, that song?
Not
So,
not that I can recall.
And when you visited your mom in jail, were a lot of these conversations, did you update your mom about this divide that started happening between the family?
Of course.
And you felt that you weren't being treated fairly by Fabio's side of the family? Is that
Treated
fair to say?
unfairly, yes.
Okay, were you angry at them as well?
Of course.
And is it fair that if Morella said things to you, you were saying things back?
Of course.
Okay, so, and that was because you're standing with your mother?
Yes, and I was 18 years old.
That's fine.
Yes.
You were standing with your mother, and you still stand with your mother.
Yes.
And you don't want to believe that your mother killed your father.
Correct.
And it was hard for you then.
That's argumentative, Your Honor.
it's overruled.
So was it difficult for you to see your brother and your father's side of the family not believing your mother anymore. That was hard for you.
Yes,
Okay, so that caused a big divide, and to this day you still have this divide.
correct.
And it affected your relationship with your brother as well.
Yes,
Your mother's side of the family, that's Anna and then your grandmother, you're still close with them.
yes,
Okay. And the three of you, over the years, visited your mother while she was in custody.
yes,
And is that on a regular basis?
yes. Well, them no, but my sister and I, yes.
Okay. But they went and visited your mom as well?
Yes, but not regularly, but yes.
When they were in town?
Yes,
Also, your mom's other friends, Elise, Faye, you ended up not liking them anymore as well, right?
right, because they're slandering my mom online.
And you didn't like anything that they were saying on Facebook or Instagram. It was upsetting you as well.
Correct.
All right. Now, when we talked yesterday, a little bit about, you touched on, I just wanted to go back. The time that you found Rob in your bed, you had testified that, I think you thought you were out of high school, but were you actually in high school at that time?
I'm not gonna object, this was not raised on cross-examination, after
I'll allow this.
If it was 2016 in the summer, I don't remember when this happened, but if it was in the summer, then I had graduated already.
All right. Back then, though, did you tell the officers that you were in high school when this happened?
I don't remember.
We're looking at a transcript, refresh your recollection.
Yes,
And this is the February 21, 2017 interview, page 81 through 82. I'll just let you take a read here from line 13 to the bottom and go into the next page. Okay. Is that where,
yes,
so you were in high school at the time?
yes,
And I'm talking about the time when you found Rob in your mom's bed.
correct,
And that was also the time, as you testified, that your dad was out of town.
correct.
Did you tell Deborah Obad that your mom told you not to tell your dad what you had found?
Overruled.
Sorry, can you repeat the question
Did
again?
do you have a conversation with Deborah Obad and tell her that your mom told you not to tell your dad that you had found Rob in her bed?
I don't remember.
Do you remember Rob coming to the wake or the memorial that was at your house 6 days later, January 29th, 2017?
It's also after.
I'll allow counsel to reopen on this area.
Did you see Rob at the wake at your house or the memorial at your house January 29th, 2017?
Yes.
Did you see him out of place there?
No, there was a bunch of other friends and stuff that were there.
And did you have friends there?
Yes,
I believe my next in order is
232.
232. If I may mark a photograph, friends and family photo gathered January 29th, 2017.
Very well.
Is this photo then, do you recognize that photo?
yes.
And what is that photo?
That's my sister, my cousin Vanessa, myself, my best friend Haley, and my other friend Selena eating In-N-Out at our kitchen table.
Okay, is that you in the middle then?
Yes,
And that is on January 29th, 2017.
yes.
You guys are all wearing In-N-Out hats and have burgers. Did you have a separate food there than the rest of everybody?
Probably, yeah.
All right. Do you remember anything about Rob Baker being at that memorial?
Not really. I was with my friends.
Do you remember him when he came or when he left or anything of any significance?
No.
Moving to the date of the murder earlier in the day, if I may mark as People's 233, it is an individual text change starting with ha-ha from Jesse,
All right. One more.
and your number's been redacted. This text chain then with your mother, we went through some previously on Friday, but this was previous to that at 3:40 and 29 seconds. Is that the text your mom sent you, don't be late for babysitting?
Yes.
and then you responded, I won't, LOL, at 3:41.
Yes.
So that timing, then you left right after that to go babysit Deborah Obad's child, Max.
Yes.
Previous to this text that your mom saying don't be late for babysitting, did she call you?
I don't remember.
All right, I have it. If I may mark as people's 234, it is a page from the Celebrate report starting at line 475.
Very good.
And showing you this then, again, here's your text on line 480 where your mother says don't be late for babysitting and you said I won't, LOL. Right before that, at 3:37, before your mother sent that text, she called you.
Okay.
Does that spark your memory that she gave you a call?
I don't really remember.
All right, well, there's no answer, so you didn't answer, but do you remember receiving a missed call from your mom prior to you going to babysit?
I mean, I see that it's here, but personally, I didn't remember.
So she was just reminding you then to be out of the house and make sure you make it to babysit.
Because I was always late.
Okay. She didn't want you to be late.
Correct.
And you think you were babysitting at around 4?
Yeah.
And the final topic, when the defense had asked you some questions about when you got to the scene, when you first got there, you testified on Friday that a fireman told you that your mom had, that your dad had been killed, correct?
Yes.
Did you tell the police that you actually didn't know until you got in the house and your mom and sister told you?
I know on the transcript that I said that, but I remember it differently. I remember the fireman, before I even walked in the door, saying that. And then immediately when I got in the door, my mom and my sister are saying the same thing. So it was a traumatic day, and I don't remember what happened first.
Okay, I got it. When you interviewed with the defense team on August 29th, 2017, you walked through again what happened that day when you first walked in, correct?
Correct.
Do you remember what your mom said to you when you walked in the door?
No.
Did you tell the defense team in your report, August 29th, 2017, that your mom said they killed him?
Yes.
Who was they? Who did you think they were?
The knock-knock burglars that the detectives were telling us.
Okay, well, the detectives hadn't met with you guys yet, right?
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Like, my mom thinks it's strangers, so they as in she doesn't know.
So when you walked in and your mom said they killed him, you didn't know who they was, right?
Correct.
So you didn't know anything about knock-knock burglars, correct?
Correct.
Your mom had not been told about, to your knowledge, about any knock-knock burglars. This just happened, right?
Correct.
But she used the plural, they killed him.
Correct.
All right, thank you. I have no more questions.
Yes, Your Honor. Before you got to your mom, first of all, you were notified by Deborah Obad to get over there. Is that correct?
Correct.
Do you recall what she said?
She said go home.
And when you went home, who did you first come in contact with?
To my knowledge, the firefighter.
Okay. And you spoke to the firefighter?
I didn't speak to him. He just said that your father's dead, and I walked inside.
And then who did you speak to?
Isabella and my mom.
And who did you speak to first, Isabella or your mom?
I'm not sure.
Okay. And there was a lot of blood and a lot of wounds there. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. Let me ask you this. You were asked questions about what was in the notes that we had taken of our interviews of yours. You remember that?
Yes.
And the question was, why wasn't cremation brought up? Remember that?
Yes.
Well, isn't it true that at the time, nobody thought cremation was going to be an issue in this case, correct?
Correct.
You thought everyone understood that it was going to be cremation, correct?
Yes.
You didn't know that coming into this trial, people would testify for the prosecution from the other side of the family that he didn't want cremation and it was never his decision. Remember that?
Yes.
And then we brought it up with you here on testimony here today, correct?
Yes.
And did you tell us the truth about whose decision it was?
Yes.
And was it true that it was yours and your sister's and Luigi's decision?
Yes.
Along with your mom?
Yes.
That there was no dispute about that or argument about that?
Not to my knowledge.
As far as this text from your mom, were you often late going to Deborah's house to babysit?
Yes.
So on this occasion, you got a text message from her saying don't be late, is that right?
Yes.
And then you didn't get any phone calls from her, did you?
Not that I remembered.
And what was shown to you, if I could have that. If you look at this, there's an outgoing call here that is at 3:37:59, and it's got 000 at the top. You see that?
Yes.
You know what that means?
I didn't answer.
Correct. So as far as you know, you didn't get another call from your mother, or any call from your mother, correct?
Objection states the testimony.
Right.
You got a text saying don't be late, meaning you were in your house still, correct?
Yes.
And you were going to Deborah's. How long were you at Deborah's?
I think an hour and a half.
Were there times when you would go to Deborah's and only babysit for a short period because she just needed you to watch the child while she ran an errand or something?
Correct.
Was there any set time, length, minimum that you would go there for, or stay